I remember I did a show at a bar, and they had the presidential debates on. Obama, McCain, and David Tell was there.
Nice.
And he watched the debates, and he's like, the entire time I was trying to figure out. He's like, why is that snowman yelling at that pharaoh?
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to This Week in Zoltan. I am Zoltan, and this week I have the very funny Steven Rogers, everybody.
Hey, hi. Hello.
Welcome.
I reacted like they all just walked in the room.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for doing it. We had known of each other, I think, before we met in person. We talked about this beforehand, just so it's completely genuine.
Yes.
But I think you and I suffer from almost the same, an equal amount of social anxiety.
Yeah.
Where we did a show together, Comics You Should Know, and then we sat in the back. You sat down next to me. I was next to you and my wife.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I had it in my head, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to say.
I knew, they tag you in the post prior. I was like, oh, Zoltan's going to be there.
I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, I know that guy.
I was like excited, and I had a show, so I had to leave. And then I get there, and you're already there, and I saw you with your wife, and I'm like, well, you can't talk when there's two, He's with his wife. I can't. And then I'm like, he won't remember me. And I just assumed that you'd be. I didn't want the or like the. And we're mutual friends with Dustin Nickerson, and I had just worked with him, and we talked about you.
And he sent me a text about you. But this is why we're exactly the same. We could be in the same setting and go, I'm not going to do it if he does. And that's the same reason I didn't talk to you. I'm like, he's standing. He looks like he's like ready for another spot. He's a New York City slicker, man.
Yeah.
Don't slow him down by saying hello.
Well, it was the one night a year I had two spots, and it was like, but it's out of at least I think I can speak for both of us. It was out of respect that I left you alone.
That's very nice. That's why I leave everybody alone. It's out of respect.
I was like, he doesn't need this, and this is me,
dude. And it's so weird because like the very, very, very few times I get recognized, like I feel amazing. But if I see somebody that I recognize, I will never talk to them.
Yeah.
I saw the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, at the airport. Never said hello to the man.
No.
And my wife's like, "What is the matter with you?" And then the next time I did Comics You Should Know, next to me was Todd Barry. I grew up on Todd Barry, comedy legend. And then I was just whispering to my wife on the other side, "Oh my God, it's Todd Barry." She goes, "Who's that?" And I go, "The wrestler." I'm like, I'm over there listing his credits.
It's two wrestling references.
It's all stuff that I made my wife watch against her will. And she's like, "Why don't you say hello?" And I'm like, I don't want to bother him. I don't want he's doing Todd Barry things.
Todd Barry, I'm a big fan, and I couldn't say hello for the longest time. My fiance is a comedian, Caitlin Palufo, and she worked with Todd a bunch, and through that I met him, and the other night we were at a club, and he waved to me from across the room. I was like, this is the best night of my life. I still wasn't going to say hello. He's doing it for me. Now I got Todd coming to me. I'm like, this is great.
Are you a starer? When you see someone that you know, like that's not that that's like an acquaintance, like maybe you and I, but like that's someone like a famous person. Are you a starer?
That's a great question. I'm like it's very hot potato glances.
Oh, okay.
It's like the scan around.
Right, multiple times.
Yeah. You do a lap around the room and come back.
I got to learn that because I'm a dead starer.
Oh
yeah. I remember when I moved to LA, I was very new into comedy, and I was going to the Comedy Store, and this was when the Comedy Store wasn't doing that great.
Yeah.
And the only person of note there usually was Mark Maron.
Oh,
and
man.
I grew up on Mark Maron. I love Mark Maron, and I would just sit in the back of the room and just stare
at
Mark. And now that I know so much about him just from listening to his podcast, worst thing you could do to someone who's like that, because I remember sometimes he would look over and go, and do that. And I was like, I watched you and I didn't say anything. I would just stare at him. And if I ever get the opportunity, I'll apologize. But normally I'm a starer.
Yeah.
If I have some drinks in me, I will yell who they are at them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I did that to when a UFC fighter once, Nick Diaz. I was like, "You're Nick Diaz," like in Vegas, like pretty good drinks in. I'm like, "You're Nick Diaz." He goes, and I'm like, "I knew it." And so I'll do that. And I remember I did this to Jeff Garland. We turned and we looked at each other, and I went, "You're Jeff Garland," and he goes, "Yeah, who are you?" And I'm like. And I'm like, I'm Zoltan. And he goes, you're Zoltan. And then he left.
That's beautiful.
And I was like, well, all right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm not much better if I know the person. Like you, I was like, I can't even muster saying hello.
Yeah.
Just in the off chance this doesn't work out. And then, yeah, it's just, I don't socialize.
I've been writing about it, trying to figure out, because I feel very weird all the time. I feel like I'm the weird one. But everybody feels weird.
Absolutely.
Which means that's normal.
Right.
But we don't talk about it.
No.
At all. So we're just keeping it to ourselves and just all feeling weird.
Some people smile politely better than others. And I think I'm not on the great side of how to do it. Like most people are great at it. They'll just give you a pleasant like, and then I'm like, I'll have like an extra, and it throws everybody off.
Yeah.
But I think and this is something you learn as you get old. Like, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, so 36. Yeah. I've really learned this in my 30s. My wife really pointed it out. She's like, wow, you're really uncomfortable like most of the time. And I'm like, man, most people would not say that to me. But now looking back on it, I think everyone's always thought it. Yes. And just no one ever told me.
No.
And so that now I realize it more. And I remember we did a stand-up show in the metaverse for Facebook.
Wow.
And so to get us used to it, they sent us these headsets and they made us practice. So they sent like 10 of us up to the metaverse to this like fake comedy club. And it's just us. And I knew like half of those 10 people.
Yeah. Other
comedians and the 5 I didn't know. And we go up into this big room. There's 10 of us, like people are talking. And I just immediately took my avatar to the far corner of the room. And just like stared at the wall. And I was like, dude, even in billions of dollars worth of technology, I'm still like in the corner.
You're like, no, I'm just checking out the details.
Yeah, wow. Look at this place.
Man, this is a good place for my avatar to text.
So yeah, it was, I'm just always that way. Thank God for cell phones. You know? What did we do before? Like guys like you and me would just have to stare at our shoes.
Yes, and that's why I think that's what sneakerheads are really doing, by the way. I'm on the sneakerheads because I've gotten into shoes and I'm like, oh, this is so I don't have to look at people.
You're just always adjusting the tongue.
Yeah.
Wiping a scuff.
Yeah, you don't need to clean your shoes. No. Whoever invented shoe cleaner had a hard time with eye contact.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That is so true.
And that ended up working, so I don't remember the other thing I was going to say. I got excited that I made both of you laugh.
No, anytime you make the producer laugh, then you're doing well.
I agree. Yeah.
Then it's like, all right, Tom's laughing. This has to be worthwhile.
Oh, we carry notebooks.
Yeah.
And I feel extra weird when I do that because everyone's in their phone, and I'm like, if I'm in my notebook, I'm like, I look like I'm behind. you know what I mean? Like
you're from the past.
I feel like they're like, look at that weird. Like one time I was at a hang and everybody dipped into their phone. Like it's like a cigarette break now.
Yep.
And I took out my notebook and I started writing, and I'm like, I think from afar I look the weirdest.
Yeah, no, you do. Yeah. Because like you assume when someone's on their phone, they're texting,
right?
They're emailing, even though they're just scrolling.
Yeah,
really doing nothing.
Yeah.
But when you're writing, you know that's to nobody.
Yeah.
You know you're just writing little love letters to yourself. You're like, who is that for? You know, it's a dead giveaway. That's why I'm self-conscious of writing in a notebook in public or like any public setting. Even working on the computer typing, like let's say putting jokes in there. Or writing God forbid you write a script, something.
Yeah.
I can't do it with the off chance of like someone peering over and just going, nah, I don't think that's good.
The computer I'm with you, the notebook I force myself through that. Just because I never feel like, with the self-esteem that we're talking about, I don't ever feel like I'm good enough at this. So I'm like, I have to keep writing. But when I'm on an airplane and I'm writing, I'm like, they're just reading this as I write it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where I have an issue.
Yeah.
When they're like right up
there. They're so close.
They're reading it.
They're close and they're bored. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't they look?
I'm writing. I'm like, I'm bombing. They don't like this. Yeah.
I'm bombing. They don't know what this is for. They don't even know this is comedy.
Yeah, like, that's true.
Why is he writing one sentence at a time and then going down, making another dash?
Yes.
Like, what is he doing? What's a set list?
Yeah. What's act out?
Yeah. Why did he write his name all bold at the top? Like, I do that.
Have you seen Seven?
The Brad Pitt movie?
Yeah. Where they find all of Kevin Spacey's notebooks.
That's right.
I was writing at a club, I was at the bar writing, and they go 7. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And I had seen the movie and I rewatched it. I was like, that's just rough.
And not only is it rough, I just thought of this. You know how like people's old tweets get them in trouble? Our old notebooks would get us like deported.
Yes.
Yeah, because
oh my God.
Most of those jokes never even made it to the stage.
No.
And you're like, yeah, let's thumb through this notebook from 2009 and see what horrific gems are in here.
Yeah.
My goodness, that could be the worst. It's like the Trump FBI files just being left around
next to my toilet.
Yeah, lock those up. I wanted to ask, so my wife and I, we're kind of the same. We're both antisocial.
Okay.
So, like last night we tried to be social. My wife plays backgammon. So she got me to play backgammon.
I love backgammon.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a backgammon meetup group in New York.
There is?
Yeah, my wife found it on Instagram.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and we've been trying to go. It's like every Tuesday or Wednesday, and they always pick a different bar.
Yeah.
And so last night we went. And
whoa.
Yeah, it was like a big step for us. But you're supposed to like play a few games and then move around, kind of like, and we never did. No. So we showed up to a social event and we're antisocial.
Yeah.
The entire time. We stayed for like 2 hours and we just left.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is between you and I think I've met your wife,
Caitlin.
Yeah, at Gotham, and she doesn't seem to have this issue because she came up and said hello. She said nice things about my set.
Yeah.
And I just got this vibe. I'm like, she doesn't have that little bit of fear.
None.
So you guys. So that kind of helps you because she kind of pushes you maybe out of your comfort zone
all the time.
Yeah.
And I love that about her. And I don't. It's what's great about it is it's effortless on her part.
Yeah.
So she's not like, I'm not giving her this chore. She's just like very social, and I'm like, I'm coming. Like if I'm with her, I therefore am part of that.
Right.
I have bits about it, but like it is like. I'm looking at it. I'm like, God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that. She's like, even her hellos. I'm like, I gotta practice how to hello like that. Like it's really something. And what I don't think anybody feels this, but I feel this way. I hate going after her in a talking, like. Like the other day, we were hanging with someone, and she hugged them goodbye, and me and that person looked at each other, and I'm like, I know that I'm like,
I'm not gonna hug you.
I hugged them, but I'm like, I could feel them being like, well, I have to hug him too.
Yes,
and it's like even at parties, like her goodbye is so much longer. It's like. I'm like, you're still on them?
Cut it.
I don't think you're done.
You're running the goodbye light. Like we gotta get we gotta get out of here.
And the backgammon thing, I'm similar. Where like if I go to a party, whatever person or circle I find first, and I'm talking to, I don't know how to jump to the others. I don't know how to get to other people at a party.
You don't know how to break away.
No, because I always feel rude.
Yep.
I don't know how to leave and be like I really don't know what to do.
That's why I think that's the reason people have food and drinks at a party.
Yeah.
Because there's reason to break away, there's reason to piss, there's a reason to go into the fridge.
That's true.
And that's because my wife made a friend out here, and then we hung out with, they're a couple. So then they came to they actually recommended a show to me, and then I reached out and then I did it.
Hey, that's awesome.
They're like, oh, we go to this one show in Guanas. And I was like, oh, let me see. And then so I met them there, but then they had like a housewarming party, and it was a bunch of their friends from whatever state they moved from.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that knew each other well. And then my wife and I. And then so it was like, it was kind of tough. Everyone was super friendly and nice. It was just us in our own heads.
Right.
Going, how long have you guys known each other? Since middle school. And we're like, how long have you known this girl? Like 2 weeks? Like, we can't.
Yeah.
We got. But that was all in our own heads because everyone was friendly. But you end up just being in all these different conversations. Mm-hmm. And at the end, I don't know if you feel this way. Depends on how it all goes. But at the end, I felt like a social butterfly.
Yeah.
Like, my wife and I were walking to the subway going, we did so good in there. And she goes, you did good in there. I'm like, you did great.
You guys are great.
Yeah, I saw you had 2 people engaged in whatever you were saying. And she's like, yeah, but everyone wanted to talk to you when they found out you were a comedian.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but like, we crushed that party. It was one of those, like, we felt really good afterwards. And then we haven't hung out with people like 3 weeks since then. Like,
oh, man.
We hit the peak and then we're like, we can dial it back now.
Yeah. That's, I don't get that because Caitlin's so good at it. I can't look at her and go, I talk to people. And she's like, what? But, and I leave thinking, I don't ever leave thinking I crushed it. And I should acknowledge that I went out of my comfort zone.
It's important.
That's very good that you guys do that.
Yeah.
That's killer.
It's, maybe it's because I'm a few years ahead of you because I just started this a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I just started doing things that make me uncomfortable. Like forcing myself into it and just be like, even if you fail, it might be funny. And you could talk about it on stage. Yeah. And then if it doesn't fail, then you did something and then you'll have that confidence for the next thing.
I just went to archery. Like I'm
wow.
like, I like archery.
I've never done that.
We should do it.
I'm down to go with you.
We should go do archery.
All right, I'm in.
I was like, I want to do it, but I dread the introduction class, which you have to do with archery. Mm-hmm. And I had a comic friend, Jeff Sheen, who has done it already. So I'd be doing the same thing for you. I'm like, can you come to the class so I'm not just by myself at this class?
Exactly.
Being bad at something.
I can be bad at it.
And also, talking to, like, not talking to people. And, so we did it, and I'm like, oh my God, not only did I shoot arrows, I did this thing that I didn't want to do.
Right.
And now I can go shoot arrows anytime I want.
And then you're getting better at it.
You're getting better at it.
And slowly that's going to be your way of like making friends with people in that setting because you have a talent in something that we're all doing right now.
And when I feel this way with parties, I need an Andy like Conan needed Andy. I need another person to show what I'm like when I'm comfortable with another human. Mm-hmm. So like doing banner with my friend during the class, the other person shooting with us was laughing.
Yeah.
And I felt more comfortable just being like, I can be funny with my friend, and then they see that I'm like, this is what I'm like, and that relaxed me.
Yeah, and all it takes is that, and then now you're like, oh, now I'm getting comfortable. Yeah, now it's getting good. That was like with me in boxing. I started taking boxing a few years ago. Oh man, and I always wanted to, but I was always very afraid to.
Right.
And then some friends of mine started doing it, and they're like, "You want to come?" I'm like, "Oh yes, I want to come." Awesome. And then slowly those friends stopped going, and then it was just me there by myself after a few classes. But like I started to pick it up, and I was actually like pretty okay at it.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
So then but even then, like it was a gym that I would go to all the time. I still feel like I felt comfortable there. I never felt uncomfortable, but I still feel like I'm always on the outside of the social setting. Because, slowly, like, there's cliques that start to form. Not even mean cliques, like nice people talk to each other, and eventually every time they talk to each other. And I'm always this weirdo just floating on the outside.
Yes.
I'm like the rings of Saturn. Like everyone's everyone's being social, and I'm just hovering around.
I couldn't relate more.
And so there is always that. But being good at something in that setting takes a lot of the stress away, and you're like, well, even though I'm not in that conversation, I'm going to hit the speed bag, and be like, oh, I can do this little thing.
Yes.
So yeah,
that's great. Do you go to there's a lot of comedians go to one here. I don't know if you go.
No,
I don't know what it's. I'm trying to get into it as well, but there's.
Well, we're gonna do a lot of things together. Apparently, it's gonna be archery. We're gonna
fight crime. This is great.
We're gonna come in. I could see us being the worst crime fighters because we have that little bit of anxiety where we'd come in and we're very aware apparently, so we could see maybe a man that's about to do something horrible to a woman, but we're like, are we sure? Are we sure? Because what if you know? Like my wife and I walked in the park last night or 2 nights ago, and there was this creepy guy on a bike kind of following this woman walking by herself, and she had headphones on. I don't think she noticed. And my wife and I were like, oh my God, what if? And then I went through all the things. I'm like, what if something happened? Then I went in and I saved the situation. My wife and I had like tackled a guy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, then I had to think, what would ruin that? What if that was their kink and they had set up like a role-playing thing and our dumbasses come in to be heroes and we ruined their date night? Like they have 3 kids. This was their one thing that they were going to do. It was a little bit of role-playing in the park and we ruined. That would be my fear of us being superheroes. Misreading a situation.
Yeah, we both see a villain and we're like, well, we shouldn't say hi.
No. Hey,
you're the villain.
Like we would, like the way your fiance has a good hello and you have a bad hello, we would have a good stop that right there. It would be a stammer. There'd be a stammer to it for sure.
Oh man, I have a stammer, and what I hate about a stammer is like I'll have it on stage because like I'm thinking faster than
you can talk.
So it automatically makes you look less confident. Mm-hmm. You know,
that's why I love that opening line you did. I think at Comics You Should Know, which was, "Don't worry, I've done this before."
Oh,
it was something along those lines, like I'm a pro.
I've done stand-up before.
Yeah, my wife laughed so hard.
Oh, man.
And because then you said this other line where you're like, "I know it looks like I don't," or like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like if you judge me based on my looks.
Yeah.
And my wife's laughing so hard. She goes, "He does." It all works so well.
No one said that. No one has given me that acknowledgement. So that makes me feel so great. Thank you.
Loved your entire set.
Oh,
but like
very sweet.
with my wife, you crushed from go, and it was that line, and she goes, "I really didn't think he did." That's weird.
I don't ever want to do a bit on someone's pod, but like I've been talking about, like this is a real thing that happened. I went in a men's room and I washed my hands, and then I go to use a paper towel dispenser, and there was no lever. I did the motion wave, and I look. And I'm like, okay, it's broken. Yeah. And another guy comes over and he goes, "You got to do it like this." And he does the wave in front of him, and no paper towels came out. And then he turned around and left.
That's what I would do.
And yeah, I understand what he was experiencing, but I'm like, you thought I couldn't do paper towels?
But can you imagine the shame he felt?
I'm glad he felt it, but I wanted to see it. He left. I wanted it.
I love that he could watch someone do this and go, "You're doing that wrong."
Yeah, it's counterclockwise.
Yeah, what are you doing? Have you never washed a car? And then I love the walk away. Because there are people in this, not just your fiance who has confidence, but like the people that sing on the subway with their headphones in, and you're like, what level is that?
That's scarier than without headphones.
No, yes. Yeah. Without headphones, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
With headphones, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because you know deep down there's nothing playing in those headphones. Like deep down, you know, that's just like, because it's never even a song you recognize. It's always like a weird harmony and like a couple lyrics where you're like, I'm pretty up on popular music and I've never heard any of those lyrics.
Oh man. That's hilarious.
Those people scare the crap out of me on the train. That guy's going to kill us all. He's going to pull that emergency lever. But yeah, so it's, when do you guys have a date for your...
No.
No? Okay.
We're comedians, so, you
Unprepared.
know, we're waiting for someone to book it for us.
Book it for us.
We just froze eggs.
Congrats.
Thank you. They didn't let me do it. I wanted to do it. But
it's expensive to freeze.
It's expensive. So it took, she's very smart. She's the planner. And she was like, you know, let's do this. we can get married at any point. Let's do this while it's safe and healthy and plan ahead, and then wedding when we save up again.
Okay, that's smart. That's smart. That's well, my wife and I keep talking about that. Yeah, we're like always back and forth on kids. Yeah, and then my wife's younger than me, so she's 31, so she still has some more time. But eventually, it's going to come down to the freezing of the eggs. Yeah, and going that route, and it's like it's so expensive to freeze eggs.
It's expensive,
and then they're like, and then she read me some stat that are like, it's not even a guarantee that it works. Like that's why you got to freeze like a dozen eggs or something.
Yeah, and they're the backup plan.
They're the backup plan, exactly, in case it doesn't work. And yeah, I don't know. Having kids scares the hell out. I talked last week with Michael Lebovitz about it. He has 3 kids. Yeah. He has 3 kids, and he lives his life like with no care. Exact opposite of us. No care.
I love Mike.
I love him too. I want a little piece
different.
of I couldn't be more different from him. I'm like, I want a little piece of what you have, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm such a planner, and I'm such a whatever. I'd be terrified to ruin some kid's life.
I think about that a lot. Yeah. All I've got it down is the jokes. And then I'm like, I don't know what else I would do, but I don't know. Like the thing, like if you look at like, we figured out how to do this.
It's true.
Which less people do than father. So,
right?
You know, I mean, obviously, if this is less, like stand-up's not going to go to college, but like,
yeah.
But I don't know. I think I'm like, I figured out stand-up, and I always talk to comedian dads, and I ask them for advice.
Dustin being one of them.
Yes,
also 3 kids.
Dustin is really, I don't know if he knows how much he's helping me by just telling me about his life. I'm like, okay, that's great. Yeah. Good to know. But Tony Deo, who I love, he's a father, and I was like, hey, you're a comedian and you're a dad. Like, how the hell? And he's like, I just decided I would be great at it. And he's like, and I'm like, what do you, he's like, I'm gonna do everything that I imagine a good dad would do. And I guess it's whatever that is for you.
Yeah, it's that part I totally get. Yeah, like the game plan of it, I get. Right, but it's those days. You know, for me, it's the travel days where I come back and then I have to sleep all day.
It's very scary.
And then my wife's like, "You're so grumpy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I had no sleep. I had a late show on Saturday. I had an hour of sleep, and I had to drive to the airport. And now I'm here. Like, and now I need to catch up on 8 hours. Like, I can't imagine that. And a kid going, "It's Sunday. Are we going to the park?"
Right.
I'm like, leave me alone. You know,
you're treating your kid like a heckler.
Yeah. But also to your point, and I don't want to ruin your point, but to be negative about how we did get good at stand-up. Yeah. And why can't we get good at being a dad? Yeah. Well, imagine getting good at stand-up in front of the same audience from the beginning. Right. So, like, you bomb those first 10 times. Like, those bombs are going to stick with that kid. And you're like, we'll therapy that out later.
That's a really good point.
But I'll get better at this as we go on, you know?
But you could be like, hey, remember that other show? Yeah. This is way better.
Yeah. Remember how I would lose it on travel days? And now we decided Daddy stays at the hotel until Monday?
Yeah.
Remember that? I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. We definitely need to have kids because no one's having them.
I look out on the street every day and public transportation. I'm like, man, where's the kids?
There's none. They're in my neighborhood. They're in Park Slope. There's a bunch of them. Yeah. But like those people are loaded. Yeah. Because like my wife and I can barely afford to live in Park Slope, and those people have kids and dogs and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how you guys pull it off.
Yeah, I live in the same building as Joe List. He's one of my best friends, and him and Sarah are about to have a kid, and I'm like. It's like kind of like it's almost like I'm doing experiments. I'm like, oh, good, you're both comedians and I'm about to have a kid. Let's see what happens. It's just like, I don't think I'll ever feel prepared, but that's the big scary thing that I'm like you're saying, I'm uncomfortable. I'm just gonna
step into it.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's really see things get productive.
Yeah,
you know how many years of therapy?
5.
All right. Yeah, I was going for a couple. I think I got 2 under my belt.
Yeah.
And then once we moved here, I stopped going because they have that weird rule where like they can't therapize you. That's not the word.
Out of the state?
Out of over state lines, which is so dumb.
I got a lady.
All right, I mean, I'll definitely reach out. It'll be one of those things where I'm kind of in that stage right now where I'm like, let's see if it's helped. Like, because it's definitely helped, but like, let's see if I can like remember all the things I said.
Right.
And use those tools without checking in every week or every other week.
Right.
And so far it seems to be going okay, but I guess the real test is time and see if I totally forget and then just crumble.
It's like the thing with therapy is like I always feel guilty like coming in with the same I always equate it to I'm coming in with a box of stuff and I'm like, let's look at this stuff together. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, it's always the same stuff. And she's like, that's what it is. So the good thing is it's like you have the same problems. So it's like you're just getting better at dealing with those same problems.
Yeah.
So you'll have the practice. Like you already did cover all the things.
Yep.
But you might just have to cover them again.
Yeah, I think maybe the issues in life change, and then sometimes we don't see that it's the same issue, just with a different setting.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh yeah, I gotta reassess and fix that.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of that.
It's a lot of that.
I grew up. You have siblings?
I have half siblings.
Oh, okay,
but I consider them just siblings.
Well, you're nice. That's very kind to me. It's nice of you to not refer to them.
They don't realize how nice I'm being.
I have a half brother, but I call him a full brother as well.
Yeah.
But we're 13 years apart, so the first 13 years I was only child by myself.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time by myself. My mom was always at work. I was at home alone most of the time.
Right.
And that's where I think I got I'm very comfortable alone.
Yeah.
And it's like once you add another person in that room, like, oh, now we gotta like be on, you know?
Yes.
And I think getting to the level of comfort, not to the psychotic level of singing on the subway, but some like somewhere in between, maybe where your fiance's at, where she can bounce around and go like talk to people at a party, and she's not in her head about it.
It's magnificent.
Yeah. She can show you the way.
She is. She's showing me. It's really remarkable. But it's like looking at all the data is a thing my therapist always says. So for my thing is like, I don't think I'm good at this or anything. And that's a constant, it's an intrusive thought.
Good at comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you got to look at all the data because you're only, so whatever thing you keep telling yourself, it's like, oh, you're only looking at the data that proves what you're telling yourself. You have to look at the data that goes against it.
You're not doing a proper scientific trial.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know what's so funny? That's, I think, why comics like you and I and many others do well is because you know those comics that are just innately horrible and they just never quit.
They think they're great.
And they're like, and they don't have that moment of introspect, that dumb fear of like, I think I suck. I think I might suck.
Yeah.
And they just don't have that moment.
Yeah.
So I always feel good anytime I hear a comic who's in their 50s or, they have so many years on us.
Yeah.
And they're still like, I still think this stuff sucks.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
That makes me feel better.
I love it so much. We're fortunate to work with these people, and it's like two classes in one. You watch them murder on stage, and like I said this to you. I've watched you, and it's like when you watch people, and you're like, I gotta write. After you watch them,
thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then you hang out with them after, and you're like, oh, that's how to be a human too.
Yeah, and
it's like really great. It's just those kinds of people. There's so many names. I don't want to leave anybody out. That it's like their years have formed this person that you're trying to figure out how to be.
Exactly, especially when you're watching a comic who's like 20 years in, 30 years in, and you're like, you are so into who you are. Yeah. Speaking of Joe List, he put out this thing on YouTube, that documentary thing.
Yeah.
And it showed, I don't think it was his first set, but they showed like an open mic early set.
Yeah.
Of it. Do you remember that? It was like the Comedy Studio Boston backdrop.
Yeah.
And he did something that blew me away. He was on stage and he was self-deprecating in a very honest, open way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I did not have that early in comedy. I did not have that confidence to go on stage and be that bare and that naked in front of a complete group of strangers.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's amazing that he had that then.
Yeah.
You know, like that's something that took me I don't even know how long it took, but it took a long time to get anywhere near to that level of honesty.
Yes, honesty, man.
Yeah.
Honesty on stage, like human.
Mm-hmm.
I am a human is so attractive because we're all in this room, and yes, we're the ones that are lit up higher than them, only ones with a voice, ideally, and
if all is going well.
Yeah. But then when you can do all that and then be like, no, I'm a human as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's so much connection, and he's so good at that. He gives my favorite comics are like, it's like, oh, it just looks like we are all hanging out at a bar and this person's telling us a story.
Exactly.
It's so great.
Anytime, I read a comment like that under my video, oh, it feels like I'm just hanging out with you. I'm like, that's the illusion.
That's
the illusion, but that's also what I'm going for.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the compliment. That, and I didn't realize you were clean. Those two compliments are the ones that I'm like, that's like a gold medal.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. The clean thing kind of happened by accident.
Yes.
Because I wasn't always clean, and then I did a dry bar thing.
Yeah.
And then that was clean.
Yeah.
And then people started coming out to my show with this expectation that it's clean. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I wrote dirty anyway, but sometimes I
same
throw
way.
some F-bombs in there or whatever. Yeah. And then I was like, I guess I can do these jokes without that.
Yeah.
But I also go through this idea where I don't want the label of clean to limit me from talking about things that I want to talk about.
I feel the same way.
So it's so far it hasn't.
No.
Like still I can talk about everything I want. I just portray it in a way where I'm not cussing every other word.
Yeah, I don't. I'm very similar. I'm clean, but I'm not. I don't like the label. Because I don't want people coming just because it's clean.
Yeah. There's like a connotation to it.
There's a connotation to it, and my clean might be different than their clean. Like that shouldn't be a part of the equation because I could still offend you.
Yeah.
Because I'm just expressing my point of view, and maybe our point of views don't align.
How many times has a tweet enraged somebody, even me, and it was a completely clean sentence? It was a completely clean, no F-bombs, and you're like, I think I might want to fight that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here on my toilet. But there are so many different levels of clean. There's dry bar clean, which is Mormon clean, which
Very
is
clean.
about the cleanest I've ever done.
Yeah.
And then there's church clean, which is sometimes even a step lower than, it's not that bad because it's like Christian clean, so you can make innuendos.
Yeah.
And then there's like regular clean, and then there's so many different
many different forms of it.
There's so many different forms that you really do some homework, but also if something gets said that blows you up, like it's okay.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
I don't really talk about sex, but that's because I haven't thought of something that I haven't heard before or that I think is funny enough to bring up. And I just never wanted a joke that I had to change for a taping or something. I didn't want to have to touch the joke. I wanted it to be the same thing no matter where you saw it.
That
was, and because I got inspired by Late Night.
Yeah.
And then,
you've done Late Night.
Yeah. So that was what ended up making me clean.
Was seeing that coming up.
Yeah.
I guess like subconsciously I've always wanted to be, because like the first stand-up special I watched was Sinbad's Afros and Bell Bottoms, and it was on Comedy Central. It was playing all the time, and my mom and I watched it together. And it was cool to watch something with my mom where I didn't go you know? And then I'd watch like one of my favorite comics growing up, like All of Us, Dave Attell, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna watch this without my mom.
I remember my parents watching Attell and not letting me in. And I being like, well, now I definitely want to see him. And Caitlin works with him sometimes. And so I've gotten to meet him and stuff. And he's the best. And I went to go see him he did the closing shows at Caroline's. I was in the audience, and he brought Caitlin on stage and was riffing with her. And my parents had just bought me a leather jacket.
already love where this is going.
And so I was wearing the leather jacket, and she goes, "Yeah, he's here." And he goes, "Oh, come on up." And he brought me on stage, and I had the leather jacket on.
No.
And he destroyed me.
Of
and
course.
He goes, "I don't know who gave you that haircut, but we're going to find him." And he just starts ripping me apart. And it was so great. It was so great. It was amazing.
That's like, there's no better memory than that.
Yeah.
Getting torn apart by Dave Attell. He's such an amazing comedian, how quickly he comes up with things and the way he does. Like, this is my favorite memory. Back in 2008, I remember I did a show at a bar, and they had the presidential debates on. Obama, McCain.
Yeah.
But it was on silent because it's a bar and there's a show going on. So it's weird. You're watching this debate in like closed caption, but it's silent. And all of us comics were trying to like make fun of that because that's pretty weird, right? To just have it on silent. Yeah. And I don't remember my joke, and I don't remember anyone else's. I just remember none of them worked.
Okay.
No one found it funny.
Right.
Even amongst ourselves, we're like, that's not funny.
Right.
And then the very next night, I was living up in LA at the time, and I went over to the Improv to watch the show, and Dave Attell was there.
Nice.
And he watched the debates in the same setting at a bar on mute. And he's like, the entire time I was trying to figure out, he's like, why is that snowman yelling at that pharaoh? It's such a good, like, and I was like, I mean, obviously he was going to come up with a better joke about that than the rest of us nobodies, but how much better, how quick, and how different. Like, no one's going to write that.
No.
That's Attell. That's Attell all the way.
The pictures he puts in your brain
are like, who are you?
It's so beautiful.
He's really one of a kind. He doesn't. It's almost he's one of those guys that doesn't get the credit that he deserves, obviously. But also, there's a part of me that is glad that he doesn't, because I think he's too good for the general masses to love.
Yeah, and the people that blow up. I want all the people that are the best at this to blow up, but then also blowing up can lead to overexertion, and the writing can be set aside because you're doing so much other stuff.
Yeah.
And you can tell every time you watch Attell, every time you watch Brian Regan, or people that are underrated, the writing has never lost. They've never lost focus on the writing.
Right. I think they both those guys that used as an example do a really good job. I mean, Attell doesn't release a ton of hours.
No.
But Regan does, but I feel like he really works on his own time frame.
Yeah.
He's not on, and I don't know him. You open for him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you work with him, but he really feels, just from an outside perspective like that, he's like, I'll release these when I'm ready to release them, and when I think these jokes are where they should be. Yeah. Because he's never really had a special that I thought, oh, this felt rushed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is you put it the best way.
Yeah.
You can see it, but we're all desperate. So I understand the rushness.
I get it. And then once you get to that certain level where you're like a superstar, you have a bunch of people on your agents and managers and what have yous, and they're like, no, you got to do this. It's out now. And you're like, well, I don't know if I'm. It's more about. It's not about putting out the best product. It's about striking while the iron's hot.
Yes.
And then I hate it when people do the thing where they tear down the comedian. Like, I like this person's other special better.
Right.
And for two reasons. One, you don't understand that this hour could have been rushed by something that was out of their control.
Right.
Also, you're comparing someone to themselves. Which is, you're not even saying, well, he's not as funny as this other comedian. You're saying he's not as funny as he put out like 2 years before. And I'm like, do you even realize what you're saying?
Yeah.
And it's such an unfair judgment. Like, every hour, obviously we all want it to be better than the hour before. Right. But they're also different.
They're all different. They're different jokes.
They're different jokes, maybe slightly different deliveries, maybe you start doing stories, or I don't know. It all is its own thing. Yeah. And not to get all hippy dippy Rick Rubin about it, but like,
I'm a big Rick Rubin fan.
Me too. Yeah. And he's just like, his big thing is you got to make the work. Yeah. And the success is when you're done. Yeah. That's the success, not what it becomes once you put it out, because that's out of your hands.
Yes.
So if you put it out there and people go, I liked his other stuff better, that's not in your control. All you can control is the work you put into what you put out.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And so I get really defensive of even comedians I don't like.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's comedians I don't like and people trash them. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? There's a theater full of people laughing at whatever's going on.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, like, you're wrong for trashing it.
Well, there's that... I've rewatched Brene Brown's Netflix talk.
Okay.
It's a lot about vulnerability, and it's very good. And she quotes Teddy Roosevelt's. It's basically I respect who's in the arena. Mm-hmm. So if you're criticizing someone for making specials on a this minute whatever. Are you also doing that?
Right.
Be in the arena of the people that you're
criticizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that because I'm a boxing fan. Fans of boxing do that to boxers all the time. Oh, this person's ducking this other fighter.
Yeah.
Meaning they're scared of this other fighter. And I'm like, they fight.
yeah.
You don't even fight.
Yeah.
You don't even spar.
Yeah.
You've never hit a bag.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean they're not scared of that guy?
Yeah.
No one's scared of it. They all fight for a living. Who are we to say, you're scared of that other guy? Like, and that also goes to show you how many asses do you have to kick until people are finally like, he's not scared of anybody.
That's
you know? And it's like, how many people do you have to make laugh until people are like, all right, he's funny forever?
Yes.
You just never get to that level. You're never above criticism.
It's never that person's not for me. It's that person stinks.
Yes.
And it's like, you can say it's not for you.
Although those comments actually hurt more.
Do they?
Yeah, like this one person, and I'm still trying to get to the point where I don't read the comments, but this one person wrote this like dissertation where she's like, I watched it and I didn't, and I see he has a lot of fans.
Oh no.
I see a lot of people enjoyed this, but I don't get it. And then
I'm changing my opinion on that.
No, you have the right opinion, but I'll still find a way to get hurt by anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I would rather say you suck. I would rather a boo as opposed to, let me give you a detailed account of why.
Well, that's unnecessary.
And I'm like, who are you? And I deleted it quick. I'm a big comment deleter.
I am too.
Yeah, I love it. I get dictators, man.
Yeah.
I get why they off the journalists, get them out. But I think I said that on Dustin's podcast too, because he was like, he started deleting comments because I told him I do. And he's like, yeah,
you gotta.
Yeah, why? Why would I let this into my life?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up here in a little bit. How are we doing on time? 47? Yeah, that's around the time we wrap up. I wanted to talk about your podcast that you also do in the same studio.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that when you watch Steven's. So you are a picky eater?
I'm a picky eater. The show, it's not out yet, but it's called The Feast of My Worries.
It's a great title.
I'm very proud of it. Especially the title. I like making puns off stage. They make me happy. And I'm a picky eater, but I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm tired of, have you even tried it?
Right.
As a thing. I gag easily on foods. There's just something that my body's like, that food ain't gonna work. And so I'm trying. I have comics come and they bring 2 foods that I've never had, and I don't know what it is until they reveal it. And then I just try it on the show.
So it's just you throwing up.
I don't throw up. I stomach it. It is very hard. As Tom knows, it's been difficult on certain foods. I've learned I'm not a rice guy.
Well, I don't like rice.
I can't do rice unless it's sweet. Anyways,
like a sticky rice or something.
Yeah. I'd love to have you in the next season. But
I don't know what I'd bring you. I guess I'd have to bring some Hungarian, which I don't even eat Hungarian food, but
we can eat it together.
I'll find something.
Yeah.
So do you have a date of when this might be out?
No, I would assume later this year or early 24. But yeah, I'm banking them all up.
Perfect.
Going to release the first season on my YouTube, and yeah.
That's a wonderful idea. All the social medias? What
Steven Rogers Comedy on Instagram, and that's my YouTube as well, and StevenRogersComedy.com. I'm going on I'm making my first tour in 2024.
Hell yeah.
So please, no one's gonna be there. So come,
buy tickets. This dude's hilarious.
And I have a YouTube special called Before He Was Super. That's funny.
Go to all those things and check out his podcast when it comes out. Watch his special.
Yeah.
Also, his Don't Tell set is very funny.
Yeah. Thank you.
And yeah, man, dude, thanks so much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
This was a blast. Goodbye, everybody.
Trekking heavy or traveling light, there's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.